Today we're going to finish out our tour on the limestone buildings at Indiana University. More of just some popular buildings that I thought you might like to know about. So my name is Wendy Kohlmeyer. I'm with the B-Town Realty team. Please subscribe right now so I can keep bringing you videos every week about all things B-Town. The Kirkwood Observatory was built in 1900 and named in honor of Daniel Kirkwood, who was an astronomer and IU mathematics professor. It's constructed of large rough-face ashlar blocks similar to other campus buildings of that era. There is little in the way of ornamentation aside from the plant motif carvings in name over the plain entry between the first and second story is a limestone walkway supported by limestone brackets that extends halfway around the round tower and encloses the observatory dome. Then we have the popular Rose Well House that was built in 1908. It's a Gothic type structure with an open pavilion, Spanish tile roof, and Tiffany style stained glass windows. It's a well-known campus landmark, and tradition has it that on every Valentine's Day, if you kiss at the stroke of midnight, you will have good luck. It was built using Gothic archway salvage from the burned remains of the old 2nd Street campus and designed to mimic the shape of the Beta Psi Pi fraternity pin in honor of Theodore Rose, whose contribution made the well house possible. Originally, it was a cistern located there that provided water for the campus, and an early photograph showed a hand-crank pump with a single tin cup for everyone to use. Next up is the Law School, which was built in 1956. It has a combination of both modern and collegiate Gothic and is located south of Bryan Hall and uses the Gothic style that is particularly evident in the Castle Tower and its battlement over the west entry. A 1982 addition with similar detailing, providing a new space for the law library. The Art Museum, which was built in 1981 and designed by I.M. Pei. The Art Museum is distinctive design of 3 interlocking triangles and was intended to draw visitors into the space. The exterior resembles unadorned limestone panels, but it's constructed of concrete. I also have a full video on the Art Museum that you might want to take a look at here. The Lilly Library was built in 1968 and uses modern Art Deco styles, but mostly a modern style, and has elements that mirror those used on the auditorium. It was built with funding from the Eli Lilly Company. The Lilly Library houses extensive collections of rare books and manuscripts. The auditorium, which was built in 1941, is Art Deco and was completed with funding from the Depression-era Federal Works Agency project. It displays vertical front windows in carved shields in the recessed area over the entry. On either side of the recess stand carved figures in classical form. Bryan House was built in 1924. It's a colonial revival story style. This brick and wood house is home to the president of Indiana University. It's named after Indiana University's president, William Bryan, who contributed funds for its construction and lived in the house after retirement until his death in 1955. The house has many of the colonial revival features, including a temple-like entrance with columns, gable roof with dormers, rectangular floor plan and symmetrical facade, multi-pane double-hung windows with shutters, and simple classical details. Ernie Pyle Hall, which was built in 1937, is collegiate Gothic style and was originally constructed for the Stores and Services building, adjacent to the original central heating plant for campus. It has elements of collegiate Gothic style, indentations along the roof line resembling a battlement, rectangular verticals between the window groupings that resemble buttresses, and deep recesses around the windows. There's some small carvings above the windows over the entry. The building was dedicated in 1954 to the memory of Indiana native and Pulitzer Prize-winning wartime journalist Ernest Taylor Pyle, and until 2014 housed the School of Journalism. The Herman B. Wells Library was built in 1970. Originally called the Main Library, this building pioneered the use of epoxy limestone panels to the concrete shell. The exterior panels are textured and thought to resemble piles of books, although another theory is that the architect modeled them on the strata of the bedrock exposed in southern Indiana. This library is featured in the classic movie Breaking Away. In 2005, it was renamed to honor past President Herman B. Wells. The Indiana Geological Survey and the Geological Sciences Wing in the Indiana Geological building are connected together and are modern style, faced with large smooth panels of Salem limestone appropriately. This is the only building on campus for which the specific names and sources of all 8 types of stones used in it are known. Both main entries are framed with red granite and have steps made of gray granite, both quarried in Minnesota. Both entrances are paved with bluestone from New York. The Fine Arts Building was built in 1962 and reflects both modern and Art Deco styles. The south side of the Fine Arts Building that faces the Showalter Fountain is Art Deco style, but it uses very different vertical elements that clearly sets it apart from the auditorium and the Lilly Library. The rest of the building is modern red phosphorus marble and travertine are used in the south lobby. The east-facing entry has a very striking pinkish beige marble with floating green and brown fragments. That concludes our tour, and I will see you next week.